Chinte means unusual hands for the many advanced and therefore rarely seen hand techniques that it contains. Chinte teaches you how to use these advanced hand techniques against vulnerable points on the body. After learning the lessons from this kata, you should be able to apply them to the rest of your training, improving your effectiveness in self-defense. From this perspective, Chinte is a critical kata in our syllabus and the perfect culminating form for the Ku rank curriculum. Like Jute and Empi, Chinte predates the Pina and katas. The opening movements suggests it has its origins in Wudang Kung Fu, a Chinese internal martial art. This influence can be seen in the large circular movements of the kata, the strong emphasis on vital point striking, and the transitions from diagonal into forward stance to generate power. Begin the kata with a standard Kung-Nu bow. Open your hands and drop your weight as you exhale all the air from your lungs. Then inhale as you raise your arms, filling your lungs from the bottom up. When your hands meet, make fists and pull them into your chest as you bring your right foot into attention stance. Perform a right bottom hammer fist strike before drawing your hand back to center. Repeat the technique on the opposite side. Step your left foot into rectangular stance as you perform a funnel block. Step your right foot into diagonal stance as you execute a right circular chop block. Shift into forward stance and execute a left vertical punch to your right palm. Step through to left diagonal stance and repeat the combination on the opposite side. Step into a right diagonal stance with a right circular chop block. Then shift into forward stance with a left upward elbow strike. Turn 180 degrees into back stance with knife hand block. Step through into right back stance with right knife hand block before pulling your hands to your left hip and executing a left front snap kick. Land back into a right forward stance with a right inner middle and a left lower block. Step up with a right horizontal bottom hammer fist strike. Step your right foot back into side stance as you execute a left sling block. Look right as you hop left and perform a right sling block. Hop left again as you execute a double inner middle block to the front. Pull your right foot into crane stance as you execute double lower blocks. Execute a right downward bare hand strike, then step into right forward stance with a left downward bare hand strike on top of your right hand. Perform a right two-fingered inner middle block, then step into left forward stance with a left two-finger strike to the eyes. Look to your left and turn 180 degrees, repeating the combination on the opposite side. Remember, it doesn't take a lot of strength to strike the eyes. Look to your left, then step into a right diagonal stance with a right one-finger strike to the eye. Shift into forward stance with a left thumb knuckle strike to your right palm. Return into a left forward stance with double thumb knuckle strikes. Step through into a right diagonal stance with a right circular chop block. Then shift into forward stance with a vertical punch to your right palm. Advance into left diagonal stance, repeating the combination on the opposite side. Withdraw your left foot into attention stance, then hop backwards 3 times. When you've reached your starting spot, assume a natural stance and end the kata with a standard Kung-Nu bow. The bunkai, or applications, to Chinte can be broken down into 4 series. Series 1 begins with a bear hug from behind. Step off line and chop to the groin. Then duck under the arm, applying a Sankyo wrist lock. Finish by recycling him into the next opponent. Block the second opponent's punch using a bong sao motion, pivoting into an arm lock. Repeat the bong sao block and lock on the opposite side. Block a grab using a funnel block, bending the opponent's fingers backwards. Parry his punch and attack the ribs. Step behind for an over-the-neck takedown, and finish with a vertical punch.
Amen.
Series 2 begins by blocking an opponent's right punch with your circular chop block, grabbing his wrist and using an upward elbow strike to break his elbow. Finish by taking the opponent to the ground. Block the second opponent's right punch with a knife hand. He ducks inside and attempts to tackle you, but you counter with an upward knee strike. Flip the opponent onto his back and finish with a hammer fist. Series 3 begins with a downward stab with a knife. Step offline and use a sling block to redirect the knife into the opponent's midsection. Strip the knife using Kote Gaish. As the second opponent punches, attack his arm with the double intermiddle block. Trap his second punch with the lower block and pull your foot back to avoid a foot sweep. Use the bare hand strikes to block and trap your opponent's arms. Strike to the throat and eyes before grabbing the opponent and taking him to the ground. Finish with a final strike to the eyes. Series 4 begins by double blocking an opponent's punch, then basing his head for a thumb knuckle strike to the temple. A second opponent grabs you from behind, pivot 180 degrees with double thumb knuckle strikes. Parry his punch, grabbing his shoulder and pulling him into a vertical punch. Repeat this parry check punch on the other side. When the opponent grabs, secure his wrist and apply Kote Gaish. Hop back quickly, taking him down to his front.